Unlock the power of AI in marketing with our new series, AI Agent. Dive into the world of SaaS tools, discover how marketing pros deploy bots, and explore the best use cases for AI in your marketing strategy. Only on Marketing in the Age of AI podcast with Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, we are going to cover the importance of staying in touch with your prospects and your clients, and why using a CRM is still better than using a Google Doc or some Post-it notes. So my guest today is Craig Poulton. And Craig is the founder and a key leader at SmartDesk CRM, established in 2016. As a lifelong entrepreneur with over 20 years of digital growth experience, Craig has driven the development of SmartDesk CRM's all-in-one CRM platform, designed to help small and medium-sized businesses streamline lead gen, marketing, sales, and customer service. Craig, thanks for taking time to be here and have a conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Well, how did you get your start in marketing? Let's just start there. 20 years ago, that was like 2005.
A point in time. I guess I could say I got started a little earlier. So I'm going to date myself here a little bit, but I started building websites in the 90s. And of course, those were the very, very early days. There were no software solutions to assist marketers or web developers for just about anything. So it was all hand coded, everything from scratch. I wouldn't really call myself a digital, but it did evolve. And in 2005, I did incorporate a company, and it was a web development company, which, as more technology and more demands from customers came to the fold, we were being requested to do more digital marketing and more outreach to different locations and take a look at different software. So the evolution of the company grew from being a web design company to, I would say, a digital marketing agency, and a website was just a component of that. So I kind of learned and grew with all the software solutions coming to the mix. Like when we started the company, there was no WordPress. Like now, just about every website is built on WordPress, right?
Yeah.
HubSpot hadn't been invented yet. Now it's, one of the major solutions out there. And maybe I'm jumping the gun here, save you some questions. But yeah, I can kind of go to the evolution of why we're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah. Let's see. So you're doing a bunch of marketing for people, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, we should build a CRM.
Yeah, the goal wasn't to build a CRM. It kind of became that. It really was to build a solution for, actually, SmartDesk didn't start as SmartDesk. We started as a consulting agency. So my partners and I, we were doing, business development, HR training and services, and digital marketing and technology integrations and suggestions. And that's, say the big corporate solutions, and they said to us, like, we don't have an appetite. Is there anything else you can recommend?
Right.
And all of my years of web development, we actually did build a CRM type of application. It was very basic. So I told the client, I said, yeah, I can, whip up something and show you something really simple. And the client loved it. And I'm like, wow, there's a pretty good foundation here. So what happened was, over the years, next few more of a technology company, of iterations of SmartDesk, and we've ended up with what we have today, and now we're a full-fledged CRM company. But the tools involved make it a little bit more than just a CRM. CRM is what it is at its core, but it really is a lead generation machine, a marketing, sales, and customer service. Is the lead generation is the services out there. We do it a little bit differently. Many other things in the application.
And so, what are some of the things that you're doing for marketing SmartDesk that are successful for you right now?
Yeah, so very small business focused. We're really not competing with the Salesforces of the world, at least not yet. Um, so the lead gen component is the first thing I thought, well, I need customers. So I started looking around as where do I build prospects, and I came across Zoom Info, until I saw the price tag. I'm like,
Right.
we can't absorb this kind of cost right out of the gate. So then I did some research and I found some monthly services. I thought, well, I sign up, I set up my profile, but I have to pay that fee every single month, whether I use the service or not. And it's probably not too effective to get canceled and restart and cancel and to kind of put your budget. But a lot of small businesses, they need that service, but they don't need it every single month. So what we built a Go model. So if you're a SmartDesk user, you get access to the same facilities that Zoom Info offers. You can query, I'm looking for sales managers in the state of California that have 50 employees or more. You can run that query, and let's say there's 15,000, probably way more than that, businesses and individuals that meet that criteria. Say, okay, well, out of that 15,000, I want to buy 100 email, their name, their social media profile, all that information. You drop that into a pipeline, and now you have the ability to run a sales telephone calling methodology for success, or email marketing. You've got all that data right in the CRM. And if you don't use the service, you don't pay for it. You only pay per lead that you return into CRM. It's not just the tools that small businesses need them in a way that they could use it and benefit and grow with it without it costing them an arm and a leg. So it's kind of like an enterprise level CRM or environment that we're building at entry level prices. And as your business grows, your costs within the application will grow, but it's because you're growing and you're not putting the cart before the horse.
Yeah. Yes. No, I like that. You obviously intimately know what it's like to be a small business owner, and so know that the expenses on the SaaS is way more than the rent we're ever going to pay for for an office. So that's interesting. So then you're using the lead gen portion of SmartDesk in order to find more SmartDesk clients. Is that how it works?
Yeah, SmartDesk clients, obviously everybody who's a customer of ours has access to this. So everybody who signs up for SmartDesk has access to query their database, find their ideal customer profile, their ICP, and based on their budget, buy as many prospects as they want. And then once you have them in there, really it comes down to, I guess, your marketing expertise. Set it up. So you have 1,000 people. You can set it up by pipelines. You can develop different, if you will, separate them. So you do in different campaigns to different audiences, big business campaigns, small business campaigns, different pain points. However you integrate your list, you can upload lists, you can create them on the fly, you can add a web form on your website and have the leads come directly into the CRM. However you're acquiring your lists, your customers, your inquiries, you can build up a whole ecosystem of how you communicate with them within a CRM. And we do offer that. That would be like the sales and marketing component of SmartDesk.
Gotcha. That's cool. And then what's your current ICP for SmartDesk? How many verticals you guys going after?
Great question. I'll give you a little insight into what we're launching. But our first vertical was pretty broad. We're just trying to build a very effective system for small businesses. And if you look at our client list, manufacturing companies, to medical supply companies, realtors, brokers, like there's one new customer from every category that we seem to get when we get a new customer. So it isn't a vertical specific solution. It's really geared to small business. 80% of the businesses out there, would find this application probably beneficial, just getting some feedback from our customers compared to other applications out there, at a pretty good, we really want to build something for SMBs.
Yeah. And are there still companies? Sorry, are there still companies that are coming to you and don't have a CRM?
Surprisingly, yes. It actually shocks me sometimes when I get into a conversation with an organization, realize how they are in terms of what their revenue is, and realize they don't even have a CRM, or they have some type of a database where they keep their customers, but it's so fractured. One customer recently, they're doing 8 figures of revenue, and they did not have the names and the emails. They had email addresses in some cases, they had names in some cases, but they didn't know what the customer had purchased. So they were managed between their accounting systems and another, service database. It was very fractured information. In a situation like that, that is a gold mine of new revenue, because it's 9 times easier to sell to an existing customer than it is to go. And this was the type of business where it would, because the type of people that reach out to this business require their services. And ideally, you don't want those type of customers doing a Google search because they forgot who they worked with the last time they did a servicing or something with your organization. So there is so many opportunities. I do come across it, and it shocks. Even the younger companies who maybe don't have a CRM, and you could justify need one because they're just a one person, or maybe that's okay. Is a bigger business like that, but that's really the opportunity, is to set up an architecture and a framework for success, because success is mostly process driven. And if you can bottle your lightning and contextualize everything in pipelines and messaging and automatic messaging, so you insert people to work within your process, it makes it easier for people coming into the organization. So whether you're you got to get it done.
What are 3 or 4 things that when people should think about when they're migrating from one CRM to another in order to set it up and get the most value out of it?
That's a question from a man who's got some experience. It's because that is a very, very important question. To wing it and just start playing with the CRM is probably not going to yield you the best result. So you got to think of things like architecture of how you want to prioritize and categorize your inquiries, your prospects, even your customers. So, within our application, you got like pipelines, and within pipelines, you have like opportunities of things that you're selling those customers. So take an insurance company. You have a pipeline for insurance. Within insurance, you'd have life insurance, car insurance, et cetera, et cetera. So you can architect unlimited number of custom fields. So, for example, if the insurance companies are charging more for red cars, and you want to do an announcement to all of your customers who drive red cars, you should be able to pull that information in an instant within your CRM to find out 18,000 customers, 200 drive red cars, sports cars with 18-inch rims. You architect around your system, you'll be able to get that out. Important, and you want to think about it beforehand, is if you can set all that up so that you're entering in the information with all this information, you have a very powerful system where you can run promotions and campaigns based on things that are happening in the news or happening in the industry that you're in. If you don't have that information, you have to do all the work. And of course, most people won't do it. But if it's there, you've thought that process through of how you're going to set up your architecture, your powerful system that you can turn on a dime and get a message out literally in an afternoon if something is announced in the morning, if your data is up to date and very good. And when you're bringing information from another system into the CRM, that is at least the time to have the conversation, because you can undo some of the mistakes you might have made from a previous system, correct them, take the time, and then get everything into the new system properly.
I like that about the architecture and about how much granular data you have on your customers and prospects, and that's an interesting approach. Let's see what sort of things do you have on kind of the near-term roadmap for what you guys are innovating right now?
Well, we have a lot. Be ourselves. We're very agile and very nimble. We listen to our customers. So, of course, the nature of this conversation, we haven't, been able to avoid the AI too, but we haven't rushed into any AI integrations. And I'll give you a little bit of my philosophy on AI. I will tell you that this is something we're launching later this year. We're launching some e-commerce capabilities within the application. So membership management, event management, and donation management. So we're going to have a vertical market that we're going to be going after, which is obviously not-for-profits and charities and companies that are involved in those kind of activities. We have done some integration with AI, mostly helping with content, and that's kind of where our philosophy is at the moment. AI is a great tool to help you with completing your thoughts, getting the spark going on some ideas. So that is very important. Where I think AI might be overstepping, and I've seen some people trying to use this, is when you try to get AI to replace what people are doing, what people instances user into thinking they're dealing with a person. Okay, and I know how I feel about it. I haven't done any surveys or read any data, but if an AI calls me on the phone, okay, I've seen Google's tried this and some have tried it. There's three scenarios really here that can play out. Number one, I know it's AI right away, and I'm not appreciative of the fact that a bot is just basically called and tried to pretend to be a human being.
Right.
So I might not even, because I would talk to a human very differently than I would talk to a machine.
It creates hostility. Yeah.
It could easily create the wrong kinds of data being inputted over the phone.
Yeah.
The second option is the AI calls me. I don't know it's AI because the voices are so good now. And I start a conversation. And halfway through the phone call, I start to realize, wait a second, is this a person or is this an AI?
Yeah.
And if it is an AI, now I feel duped. I feel a little stupid. Company that basically just pulled one over on me. So you'd be very, very careful. The third one is I take the whole call. I have no idea that I spoke to a machine. And that is the ultimate goal of people who are using it. But the question is, how many people do you think you'd be able to fool? And if you're trying to fool your customers, I don't think your outcomes are going to be all that good.
For sure.
From a cost point of view, I get it. You could have a system call 1,000 people a day at probably a fraction of the cost of paying the team to do that, kind of juggle the AI revolution with the integrity of your organization and how you want. We're not integrating any AI that is trying to do anything like that yet. Okay. I want to see more studies. Yeah. I would like to see more data come out. But any type of AI that will give you insights on it, things that we are in the process of doing more work in that space and integrating more solutions like that into SmartDesk.
It's good. I love it. Yeah, I agree that we have to keep the AI activity and with the human in the loop, and we have to let people know when they're interacting with an AI so that it doesn't tarnish the brand, and we lose the efficiency that we gained is taken out on brand equity. That doesn't make any sense.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's good. So yeah, you got some AI content development that you're working on bringing in, and I'm sure you'll be bringing in some other AI tools at some point also.
Yeah, we're always looking at different ones out there. It's been an explosion in this area, and it's hard to keep up with everybody. Looking at what the big boys, so to speak, are making available through APIs is, probably where we start. Yeah. But, these upstart AI companies, there's too many to mention, but, it's really interesting. I think this would be a really good integration. We haven't got around to it yet or found the right partner. Action or replacement technology. So I've seen in real time how, you could have overseas people. And this isn't really something to, degrade their accents. It's just, when you speak to, let's say, a North American audience and someone has an accent, it just makes it a little hard to communicate sometimes, or for the person receiving the call to maybe understand exactly what it is. So this is it's kind of deceptive, but it is at least honest because you're talking to a person.
Right.
I've seen that is really interesting to have on a phone system, or AI noise canceling. So if a dog's barking in the background, it cancels it out completely. There's just so many really great, small little features, if you will, that come from AI that I'm really looking forward to getting integrated to our application.
Yeah, the voice is probably the most exceptional changes over the last 5 years, right? We have an accounts receivable product where it does the outbound calling and sends people a link for payment. And it's been very, very effective way, because most people don't like doing those phone calls. So it's a good use for the AI.
Yep. Information-based messaging, like, hey, your account's overdue. Like, you're not asking for any from the person, just giving them of AI in that space.
Yeah. Well, Craig, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
SmartDeskCRM.com is our website. You can reach me at Craig@SmartDeskCRM.com. Those would be the two methods I would say to reach out to me. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, just CraigPoulton.com, or not .com, but Craig Poulton. You can find me on there.
All right, great. Yeah, we'll have all the links in the show notes, and appreciate your time this morning. And hang on for me while I close this out, and we'll say goodbye properly. Okay, great. That's great. So if you have a CRM, let's use this episode as a reminder to go back and do some housekeeping and make sure that you have it architected correctly, so that you have the granularity you need to be able to provide value to your prospects and your current customers. And if you have a CRM that you're not satisfied with, you should reach out and talk to Craig and see if SmartDesk might do what you need. Appreciate you listening, and we'll check in again real soon.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.